Beloved, the universe is a grand and perfect storehouse of supply. It is rich beyond measure, overflowing with abundance, and it responds unfailingly to the thought and word of man. Many imagine money as something distant, elusive, and difficult to obtain. They toil. They strive, and yet their hands come back empty, for they seek with fear and doubt in their hearts. But I tell you this eternal truth. Money is not meant to run away from you. It is ordained by divine law to come toward you, to serve you, to flow like a mighty river into your life. The substance of wealth is not created in the banks of men, but in the infinite mind of spirit. Gold, silver, currency, these are but shadows of a greater reality. When one aligns with divine law, the shadows must follow the substance, and wealth must take form in his or her experience. Money is a faithful servant of the soul that walks in harmony with these laws. It is not something to be chased. It is something that chases the one who has set their house, in order with the principles of the unseen. Every lack is born of broken law. Every debt is the harvest of a seed sown in ignorance of truth. The universe keeps perfect accounts, and it restores to each man according to his faith, his words, his secret expectations. If he sees poverty, if he speaks of struggle, if he fears tomorrow, then he calls forth want. But when he sees abundance, when he affirms prosperity, when he walks as though the treasury of heaven belongs to him now, then supply cannot be withheld. The 7 divine laws of money are not hidden, nor are they mysterious. They have been written into the fabric of creation from the beginning. They are as certain as the rising of the sun, as unshakable as the law of gravity. Yet men stumble because they forget them. They lean upon their own limited understanding, and so they labor in vain. But the one who learns these laws, who applies them with steadfast faith, will find money flowing to him in ways unexpected, through channels unimagined, with ease that astonishes the mind. There is no effort, no strain, no anxious clutching in true prosperity. The oak does not wrestle with the earth to bring forth its acorn. The rose does not strive to unfold its beauty. They obey the divine pattern, and their supply comes forth with effortless grace. So too with man. When he aligns with the higher pattern, when he speaks the word of truth, when he casts off fear and walks in radiant expectancy, then money becomes his companion, his ally, his faithful follower. These 7 laws are the golden keys to unlock the treasure house of abundance. They are not to be reasoned with, they are to be obeyed. And when they are obeyed, the result is inevitable. Money shall chase you down, find you wherever you go, and pour itself into your hands without measure. The law of thought is the foundation upon which every visible experience rests, for thought is the mold in which life is poured. Whatever a man or woman continually thinks upon, that very thing takes form in their world, whether they desire it or not. Thought is the unseen architect of circumstance, the silent artist sketching the picture that will be painted upon the canvas of life. Many imagine that their outer conditions are the result of chance, fate, or the actions of others, but the truth is far more exact. Every outer manifestation is the perfect reflection of the inner thought pattern. One cannot sow weeds in the mind and reap roses in the life. One cannot dwell upon lack and call forth abundance. The mind is the fertile soil, and every thought is a seed. The soil does not choose. It brings forth whatever is planted with unfailing precision. Consider for a moment the one who constantly entertains thoughts of fear, limitation, and failure. He may pray for wealth. He may labor diligently. He may even attempt to force prosperity by outward striving, but the inner image he holds is poverty, and so poverty must clothe itself in his experience. His thoughts are magnets, and they draw unto him conditions after their kind. If he continually imagines unpaid bills, he will draw more bills. If he speaks of how hard money is to come by, he will find his path strewn with obstacles. The law of thought knows no partiality. It simply gives to every man the harvest of his inner field. Now consider the one who cultivates thoughts of plenty, who sees in the mind's eye the overflowing cornucopia of supply. He imagines doors opening, opportunities flowing, and money moving toward him with ease. His heart rests in the certainty that the universe is rich, and that his portion cannot be withheld. Though his outer circumstances may at first appear lean, he does not waver, for he knows that the outer always bends to the inner. Soon, the evidence begins to rearrange itself. Unexpected avenues of income appear. Long-delayed payments are released. Gifts are placed in his hands. To the casual observer, these happenings may appear as chance or good luck, but to the one who understands the law of thought, they are simply the inevitable harvest of the seeds sown in the mind. Thought is not idle. It is creative power in action. Every time one entertains a mental picture, whether for a moment or for many hours, a mold is being formed in the invisible substance. When that mold is held steadily and charged with feeling, the substance rushes to fill it, just as water fills the shape of a vessel. This is why it is not enough to occasionally think of abundance, while spending the rest of the day fretting over lack. A divided mind creates a divided result. The law requires consistency of image, steadfastness of vision. Just as the farmer waters his seeds and protects them from weeds, so must the thinker guard his mind and nourish the thoughts of prosperity until the harvest is ready. To master the law of thought, one must become a watchman at the gate of the mind. Every thought that enters is either friend or foe. A thought of doubt is an intruder and must be cast out at once. A thought of failure is poison and must not be entertained. A thought of resentment or envy is a thief, for it robs the mind of its wealth, attracting power. On the other hand, a thought of gratitude multiplies what is at hand. A thought of success builds bridges to new opportunities. A thought of generosity opens wide the channels of circulation. The wise man does not allow his mind to wander aimlessly, for he knows that every idle thought is a seed that will bear fruit, whether bitter or sweet. The mind is like a magnet, and the polarity of that magnet is determined by the quality of thought. Negative thoughts repel good, just as surely as two like poles repel one another. Positive faith-filled thoughts draw supply, just as surely as the magnet draws iron filings. This is not imagination or fantasy but law. The universe is mind, and mind responds to mind. When one thinks richly, he tunes himself to the frequency of supply. He enters into harmony with the infinite storehouse, and that storehouse opens its doors wide. Let us also understand that thought is more than mere words repeated silently. True thought is charged with emotion, with belief, with conviction. To say in the mind, "I am prosperous," while secretly fearing tomorrow's lack, is not the thought of abundance but the thought of contradiction. The universe responds not to words alone, but to the vibration of belief behind them. The man who truly believes he is wealthy will carry himself with quiet confidence, will act with assurance, and will attract opportunities that mirror his inner certainty. The man who mouths affirmations but clings inwardly to doubt will find his words empty, for the thought he truly holds is still one of lack. Therefore, the law of thought requires honesty with oneself. It requires cleansing the heart of fear and planting seeds of faith so deep that they cannot be shaken. One cannot think thoughts of poverty and wealth at the same time, just as one cannot face east and west simultaneously. The mind must be single. If wealth is the desire, then every mental picture must align with wealth. See yourself paying bills with joy, not with dread. Imagine money flowing into your hands, not slipping through your fingers. Picture opportunities chasing you down, not slipping away. The mind that is trained to hold only images of abundance becomes a mighty magnet, and nothing can keep money from finding its way to that individual. The outer world may scoff at this law, believing wealth comes only through toil, struggle, or cunning. Yet look about and observe how many labor long and hard yet remain in lack, while others seem to attract wealth with effortless ease. The difference lies not in chance nor in injustice, but in thought. One has set his mind on poverty and reaps accordingly. The other has set his mind on prosperity and receives in kind. The law of thought makes no mistakes, plays no favorites, and never fails. To harness this law, practice is required. One must train the mind daily, just as the athlete trains the body. Replace every thought of fear with one of faith. Replace every picture of debt with a vision of plenty. Replace every word of complaint with a word of gratitude. In time, the new thought patterns become natural, automatic, and the outer world reshapes itself to mirror the new inner reality. The law of the spoken word is the law of creation made manifest through vibration. For every word uttered carries the power to shape substance and call forth conditions in the visible world. Words are not mere sounds. They are living seeds, charged with energy, and once spoken they go forth to fulfill the image they contain. The ancient truth declares that in the beginning was the Word, and this Word set the pattern for all that was to be. In the same way, every man and woman creates their world daily by the words that proceed from their mouth. To speak is to decree, and to decree is to set law in motion. When one speaks of lack, he sets in motion the very vibration of lack. His words go forth, take root in the invisible, and draw to him the very want he dreads. To say, "I cannot afford it," is to close the door upon supply. To say, "Money never stays with me," is to send it away with wings. The law is exact, it hears the word and returns it multiplied. Many live in hardship, not because the universe has withheld its riches, but because their tongues have fenced them in with words of poverty, doubt, and despair. They speak idly of their troubles, they rehearse their difficulties, and they give testimony to their fears, not knowing that every utterance is a command to the unseen forces that obey without hesitation. But when one learns to speak words of truth, he becomes a master of circumstance. To say, "I am rich in divine substance, and money comes to me freely and joyfully," is to open the gates of abundance. To declare, "Every bill is paid with ease, and my supply is endless," is to call forth channels of provision. The words are not empty sounds. They are keys that unlock the treasure house of supply. Spoken with faith, they imprint the subconscious mind, and the subconscious, being the faithful servant, arranges the outer world to match the decree. Spoken without faith, they may seem weak at first. Yet even then they plant seeds that, with repetition and emotion, will take root and bear fruit. The tongue can be a fountain of blessing or a weapon of destruction. With it one may call forth joy, health, and prosperity, or with it one may summon sorrow, sickness, and lack. Many destroy their good with careless words. They say, "I never get a break," and so life grants them none. They say, "It is hard to make money," and so money becomes hard to make. They say, "I am always unlucky," and the universe confirms their testimony. The law of the spoken word does not reason, it does not question, it simply fulfills. Every spoken word is a prophecy. And the world is filled with men and women living in the fulfillment of their own prophecies spoken yesterday, last month, or 10 years ago. The wise one guards his speech as carefully as a king guards his treasury. He does not allow idle chatter of lack to cross his lips. He refuses to agree with the appearance of limitation. He speaks only those words that align with the abundance of spirit, for he knows that each syllable carries creative power. His words are not careless, they are chosen with purpose. He may see lack before his eyes, but he declares plenty. He may face an empty purse, but he affirms overflowing supply. By his word he lifts himself from the visible into the invisible, and from the invisible the visible is reshaped. Words carry vibration, and vibration impresses matter. This is why a word spoken with emotion has greater power than a word spoken coldly. The one who speaks with joy, with gratitude, with certainty, sends forth a vibration strong enough to break through barriers and call forth immediate results. A man may say, "I am prosperous," with no feeling, and see little change. But when he speaks it with the full force of conviction, as though he already holds the treasure in his hand, then the unseen rushes to bring the evidence to pass. The spoken word must be clothed in belief, for belief is the breath that gives life to the seed. The law of the spoken word also works in silence, for words may be spoken within as well as without. The inner dialogue, the secret conversations one has with oneself, are as potent as the words voiced aloud. To murmur in the heart, "Things never work out for me," is to send forth the same decree as if it had been shouted from the rooftops. Therefore, The watch must be set not only at the lips but also at the inner tongue of the mind. The inner word shapes the subconscious, and the subconscious shapes the outer life. To align with this law, one must practice speaking only what one wishes to see established. Speak of wealth as though it were already here. Speak of money as a faithful companion, not as an elusive stranger. Speak of opportunities as abundant and eager to find you. Speak of ease, joy, and overflowing provision. In doing so, the very vibration of your words will go out into the field of substance and return with the harvest. Many imagine that words are powerless because they see no immediate change. Yet the farmer does not cast his seed into the soil today and demand fruit tomorrow. He knows the law of growth, and he waits in faith, watering and tending. So it is with words. Some take root swiftly, others require time, but all will return after their kind. The careless word of lack spoken years ago may still be bearing fruit today, just as the faithful word of abundance spoken now will bear fruit tomorrow. The law is unfailing, and delay is never denial but only the working out of patterns unseen. When words and thought are joined, the power multiplies. A thought held without words may remain weak, like a spark without fuel. But when that thought is clothed in speech, it gains momentum. For speech sets vibration into the atmosphere. To think, "I am prosperous," is good, to speak it aloud is better. The vibration of the spoken word travels far beyond the mind of the one who utters it. It permeates the unseen, influencing people, circumstances, and opportunities to arrange themselves accordingly. This is why decrees spoken with authority have the power to move mountains of limitation and clear the path for abundance to flow. Therefore, the discipline of speech is vital. To speak in alignment with divine truth is to walk in harmony with the law. To speak against truth is to create bondage. Every man holds the key to his own treasury upon his tongue. His words are commands to the invisible servants of the universe, and they obey without fail. If he commands poverty by speaking of it, poverty will come. If he commands prosperity by affirming it, prosperity will come. The difference is only in the decree, and the decree is made daily with every spoken word. The law of expectancy is the golden bridge between the unseen and the seen, for what one truly expects with the heart and mind must rush to meet him. Expectancy is not mere hope, for hope often wavers, trembles, and looks for evidence. Expectancy is certainty clothed in quiet assurance. It is the inner knowing that what is desired is already moving into form, and this inner knowing becomes the magnet that draws supply from the infinite storehouse of spirit. One may pray, affirm, or visualize, yet if he does not expect the fulfillment, his efforts are but shadows without substance. The law of expectancy demands alignment of thought, word, and belief in the certainty that the good sought is on its way. Consider the man who asks for prosperity yet secretly expects failure. He may declare, "Money flows to me now," but in his heart he waits for disappointment. He anticipates the bill collector before the check arrives. He looks for obstacles more than he looks for doors. His expectancy is set upon lack, and so lack is what answers. His spoken words may be fine and lofty, but his true decree is hidden in what he anticipates. The universe responds not to empty affirmations, but to the vibration of deep expectation, for expectancy is faith clothed in feeling. Now picture the woman who carries expectancy of abundance. She prays with joy, not desperation, for she knows her supply is already secure in the invisible. When she affirms prosperity, she does not strain to believe. She simply rests in assurance that it is done. She looks for evidence of money arriving in delightful, unexpected ways. She checks the mail expecting good news. She answers the phone expecting opportunities. Her expectancy sets the tone of her life, and the universe hastens to match it. Money finds her because she looks for it with unwavering certainty. The law of expectancy works silently but powerfully, for the subconscious mind responds to what one anticipates more than to what one desires. Desire is the seed, but expectancy is the rain and sunlight that bring it forth. A man may desire wealth, yet if he secretly expects to remain poor, his subconscious arranges conditions to fulfill that expectation. He may desire to prosper in business, Yet if he anticipates loss, his decisions will unconsciously move him toward loss. On the other hand, the one who expects increase will see opportunities where others see obstacles, will act with confidence where others hesitate, and will attract outcomes that reflect his inner assurance. Expectation molds behavior in subtle yet powerful ways. When a person expects to succeed, he carries himself differently, speaks differently, and acts differently. His confidence attracts allies, his certainty commands respect, and his decisions align with abundance. Expectancy sets his vibration, and his vibration becomes the invitation to wealth. The one who expects failure carries hesitation in his voice, uncertainty in his step, and doubt in his decisions. This vibration repels supply, for money flows where it is welcomed and flees where it is doubted. The childlike quality of expectancy is one of its greatest powers. A child waits for a gift with no question of its coming, no anxiety about its source, and no concern over how it will arrive. The child simply knows and waits with joy. In the same way, the man or woman who holds expectancy of abundance rests in joy, untroubled by appearances. Though outer evidence may seem contrary, inwardly they are unmoved, for their faith is fixed. Their expectancy is their proof, and soon the outer world aligns with the inner conviction. Many mistake expectancy for wishful thinking, but there is a vast difference. Wishful thinking hopes without foundation, and often doubts in the same breath. Expectancy stands firm, rooted in divine law, knowing that the universe must answer the vibration set forth. It is not a question of if, but only of when. The one who expects walks as though he already possesses. He speaks as though it is already done. His attitude declares, "It is mine now." And by this declaration it becomes his. To cultivate expectancy, one must first clear the soil of disbelief. Doubt and fear choke expectancy before it can bear fruit. Every thought that whispers, "It will not happen for me," must be cast out. Every inner voice that says, "It is too good to be true," must be silenced. For the universe mirrors belief, and to expect failure is to guarantee it. The mind must be trained daily to look forward to good, to anticipate blessings, to prepare for increase. Just as one sets a table in readiness for a guest, so must one prepare the inner house for abundance by expecting its arrival. Expectation also creates readiness to receive. A man who expects a harvest will prepare his barns to hold it. A woman who expects supply will make room in her life for it. Those who expect nothing prepare for nothing, and when good appears, they fail to recognize or accept it. But the expectant soul is alert, watchful, and open-handed. He recognizes opportunity at once and seizes it, for he has been waiting for it all along. This readiness multiplies results, for expectation sharpens perception and action. The law of expectancy is continually at work, whether one is aware of it or not. Those who expect to live in struggle unconsciously prepare for struggle, talk about struggle, and thus live in struggle. Those who expect life to favor them unconsciously prepare for blessings, speak of blessings, and thus live in blessings. It is not chance but law. One may change the entire course of his life by changing what he expects each day upon rising. To wake with expectancy of joy, of money flowing, of opportunities opening, is to set the vibration for the day and call it forth unfailingly. Expectation must be consistent, for a divided expectancy brings a divided result. To expect abundance one moment, and to expect disappointment the next is to confuse the law. The subconscious grows uncertain and the vibration weakens. But to hold expectancy steady, unshaken by appearances, is to set a clear and strong signal to the universe. That signal cannot be ignored, it must be answered. The steady expectancy of good becomes a powerful magnet, and nothing can resist it. The greatest secret of expectancy lies in assuming the feeling of already having. To expect wealth is to walk as though one already possesses wealth. To give thanks as though the gift has already been received, to move with confidence as though the path has already opened. This assumption creates the vibration of fulfillment, and fulfillment is exactly what must appear. The man who walks in expectancy of riches is rich already in vibration, and the visible must align with the invisible. The woman who carries expectancy of abundance in her heart is wealthy already in spirit, and soon her hands must hold what her heart has known. The law of circulation is the great principle of flow that governs all wealth. For money is not meant to be hoarded in fear, but to move freely like the tides of the sea. Every blessing given forth is a seed cast into the fertile soil of the universe, and every seed returns multiplied. To give is not to lose, but to set in motion the divine current that ensures increase. Those who withhold in fear dam the river of supply, while those who release in faith open the floodgates of abundance. Circulation is the rhythm of life itself. For the heart that receives without giving soon fails, and the breath that inhales without exhaling brings death. So too with money, for it is a living current, a stream of energy that must flow in order to expand. Many hold tightly to their possessions, clinging to the little they have, thinking to secure themselves by grasping. Yet their very fear of loss creates loss. Their hands are closed, and closed hands cannot receive. The law of circulation demands openness, generosity, and movement. To give in the spirit of fear is to scatter seed upon rocks, but to give with joy, faith, and gratitude is to plant in fertile soil that yields 100-fold. The universe is rich beyond measure, and it seeks channels through which to pour its abundance. When one becomes such a channel by circulating freely, the universe entrusts more to him, for it knows he will not dam the stream. Consider the man who holds back his giving, because he believes he has too little. He waits for abundance before he shares, not knowing that it is sharing that calls forth abundance. His fear becomes his prophecy, and he finds his purse continually empty. Now picture the woman who gives with joy, even when her resources appear small. She gives with the faith that supply is endless, and her giving declares her trust in the richness of life. Soon, doors open, channels appear, and her small portion is multiplied beyond expectation. The law of circulation responds to her openness, just as surely as a seed responds to sun and rain. Circulation is not limited to money alone, but applies to every form of good. Love given returns as love received. Kindness extended returns as kindness multiplied. A smile, a word of encouragement, a gift of time, all circulate and return in forms beyond counting. Yet money, being a visible symbol of supply, is one of the clearest measures of this law. When it flows out with faith and gratitude, it flows back in streams. When it is hoarded in fear, it stagnates, loses value, and often departs altogether. To live in harmony with the law of circulation, one must give with consciousness. Mindless giving done out of duty or guilt carries little power. But giving done with joy, expectation, an acknowledgement of divine abundance, sets the law into full motion. Each gift should be seen as a seed planted in the infinite field, destined to return in harvest. The giver must release it freely, without anxiety over how it will come back, for the law itself guarantees the return. Just as the farmer does not question whether the harvest will appear, the giver must trust the certainty of increase. The law of circulation also demands balance. One must give and also receive with grace. There are those who give freely but refuse to accept gifts, compliments, or help from others. By refusing to receive, they block the cycle and limit their supply. Receiving is as holy as giving, for it keeps the current flowing. To accept a gift with gratitude is to honor the law as much as to bestow one. The ocean does not flow one way only. The tide comes in and the tide goes out. So must man allow himself to both bless and be blessed, to both pour out and be filled again. Circulation is evident in nature. The rain falls upon the earth, flows into the rivers, returns to the sea, and rises again as clouds to fall once more. This endless cycle sustains life, and without it there would be barrenness. So it is with money. It must move from hand to hand, from purse to purse, from business to service, and back again. Each time it circulates, it gathers energy and increases its capacity to bless. The one who sends it forth with love releases it into this great cycle and ensures that it returns enriched. The fear of giving comes from the illusion of scarcity. Many believe there is not enough to go around, and so they cling, grasp, and hoard. But the universe is infinite in supply, and lack is only a shadow cast by fear. To give is to declare that one believes in the abundance of life, and that declaration dissolves the shadow. It proves faith in action, and faith always draws increase. The one who gives while afraid of not having enough testifies to his fear. But the one who gives while knowing he will always be replenished testifies to the truth of abundance, and the truth is always vindicated. Circulation also brings joy to the giver, for the act of releasing with love opens the heart and frees the soul from bondage to possessions. The miser lives in poverty though surrounded by riches, for his heart is chained by fear of loss. The generous live in wealth though their purse may be modest, for their hearts are light, and life continually replenishes them. True prosperity is not measured by what one holds, but by what one allows to flow through. A stagnant pond grows foul, but a flowing stream remains pure. Money is meant to be a stream, and those who keep it moving find freshness and increase at every turn. The law of circulation can be practiced daily in small ways. Paying bills with gratitude rather than resentment sets money in motion with blessing. Giving a portion of income to causes that uplift humanity ensures that money is charged with high vibration and returns in kind. Sharing with friends, family, or strangers in need creates unseen ripples that circle back in unexpected forms. Even blessing money as it leaves the hand, declaring, "This returns to me multiplied," sets the law into action. Every act of circulation, when done with awareness, becomes a declaration of trust in the infinite supply. The greatest secret of circulation is that one never loses by giving. What is released returns in multiplied form, sometimes through the same channel, often through others. Money may come back as health, as opportunity, as unexpected gifts, as peace of mind, or as direct financial increase. The law chooses the avenue, but the return is certain. The giver who trusts this law lives in fearless freedom, knowing that he cannot outgive the universe. The more he circulates, the more flows to him, and the more flows to him, the more he can circulate again. Thus the cycle of abundance expands without limit, for circulation is the heartbeat of prosperity. The law of divine order is the principle that governs the unfolding of all things in perfect sequence. Harmony and timing, for nothing in the universe is out of place, and every manifestation of wealth comes by alignment with this higher pattern. Just as the stars move in their appointed paths, just as the seasons follow each other without haste or delay, so too does the supply of man arrive at the exact moment it is needed, neither too early nor too late. When one lives in awareness of divine order, anxiety ceases and trust takes the place of fear. He no longer strives to force prosperity into being, nor does he despair when appearances seem barren. For he knows that the unseen law is arranging all things for his good, and the supply is certain to appear at the appointed hour. Many look upon their lives and cry out that chaos rules, yet chaos is only the shadow cast by impatience and misunderstanding. Behind what seems disorder is a higher order invisible to human eyes. The farmer does not tear up the soil in frustration because the seed has not sprouted the day after it is planted. He knows the law of growth is at work in silence beneath the ground. In the same way, when one has planted thoughts of prosperity, spoken words of supply, and given with circulation, he must also rest in the law of divine order, trusting that the manifestation is forming in ways unseen, and will break forth in visible abundance at the right moment. Divine order is the great harmonizer. It takes what seems scattered, delayed, or obstructed and weaves it into a perfect pattern. A man may find himself in loss, yet through the workings of divine order, that very loss clears the way for greater gain. He may see doors close before him, yet those closed doors are often the protection that prevents him from entering paths of limitation. When one trusts divine order, he sees every event not as accident or misfortune, but as part of the unfolding design that leads to increase. Nothing is wasted, nothing is out of place, and nothing is without purpose. To resist divine order is to struggle against the current of the river, exhausting oneself without progress. To align with divine order is to rest upon the current, allowing it to carry one forward with ease. Those who push in impatience often find themselves entangled, for they act out of fear rather than trust. Those who wait upon the right moment, acting when intuition prompts, find that opportunities open effortlessly, and supply arrives without strain. Divine order orchestrates not only the flow of money, but also the people, circumstances, and opportunities that carry money into one's hands. A life aligned with divine order is a life of balance. Just as day follows night, and night yields again to day, so do periods of activity follow periods of rest. To honor divine order is to honor the rhythm of life, giving oneself fully to action when it is time to act, and yielding to stillness when it is time to wait. Many destroy their prosperity by trying to reap during the season of sowing, or by refusing to sow during the season of planting. Divine order assures that each season comes in its turn, and each must be honored. The one who aligns with this rhythm never feels rushed or delayed, for he knows that he is always in his right place at his right time. The principle of divine order also governs the structure of thought and word. A scattered mind, full of contradictions, cannot manifest prosperity, for it is out of order. Thoughts must be harmonized, aligned with truth, consistent and steady. The same is true of speech, for careless words that contradict affirmations disrupt the pattern. To live under divine order is to bring mind, word, and action into unity with the higher design. When thought declares abundance, word affirms abundance, and action reflects abundance. Divine order has free reign, and wealth flows without hindrance. Fear is the great disturber of order, for fear imagines accidents, delays, and failures, while divine order knows only perfection. When one surrenders fear and affirms, "All things are in divine order," he shifts his vibration from chaos to harmony. At once, his perspective clears, and he sees hidden blessings in what once appeared as obstacles. Even setbacks reveal themselves as stepping stones, and what seemed confusion reveals itself as perfect arrangement. Divine order does not remove challenges, but arranges them so that each one leads to higher good. Money itself moves according to divine order. It circulates through channels, moving from one hand to another, always in perfect sequence. The payment delayed today may be preparing to arrive multiplied tomorrow. The opportunity that seems missed may be aligning to return in greater form. When one trusts divine order, he does not despair over temporary appearances, for he knows that money is never lost, only moving in the rhythm of the unseen law. He blesses each transaction, each bill, each delay, affirming that all is unfolding in right sequence, and soon the evidence proves him correct. Living by divine order also means releasing the need to control every detail. The limited mind of man cannot foresee the infinite ways by which supply may arrive. To insist upon a particular channel is to block the greater channels already prepared. Divine order arranges supply in ways beyond human reasoning, often through means that seem miraculous. A debt may be cancelled unexpectedly, a gift may arrive from a forgotten friend, an opportunity may appear without warning. The one who trusts divine order does not dictate how abundance must come, he simply knows that it will come, and allows the law to select the perfect means. Divine order is like the blueprint of a great building. To the untrained eye, the scattered stones, beams, and materials lying about may appear as disorder. But the architect sees the order hidden within, and in time the building rises according to the plan. So it is with life. What seems scattered in the moment is but material in preparation. The plan is already complete in the divine mind, and every event is but the arranging of parts to reveal the finished structure. Wealth, when aligned with divine order, comes not as a random accident, but as the natural unfolding of the plan already written in spirit. When one affirms divine order daily, declaring that every detail of life is arranged by higher wisdom, he enters into peace. Anxiety falls away, for he no longer fears missed opportunities or wasted time. He knows that even apparent delays are working in his favor, preparing something greater than he imagined. His trust becomes his magnet, and because he expects right timing is what he experiences. The world calls it coincidence, but the wise know it as the sure working of divine order. The law of divine order can be practiced in the smallest affairs. Rising in the morning with the affirmation that the day is perfectly arranged opens the way for harmonious experiences. Facing a challenge with the declaration that it is part of divine order dissolves fear and reveals the hidden blessing. Paying a bill while affirming that every payment is part of divine order transforms the act from burden into blessing. Each moment becomes an opportunity to affirm that life is unfolding in perfect sequence, and as the affirmation is made, the evidence appears. Divine order is not something one forces, it is something one recognizes. It is already present, already operating, already arranging all things for good. The task of man is to align his thoughts, words, and actions with this truth, to release fear, to surrender impatience, and to trust that he is always in his right place at his right time. In that trust, money flows freely, opportunities unfold, and prosperity appears with a grace that astonishes the reasoning mind.